Hey there, I'm Pastor Brian, and it's time for Questions from Kids. Rachel from Logansport, Indiana asks,
Another girl at my school is a Christian too, but we don't get along. What should I do?
As we answer this question, I think it's really helpful to think about why we get along with certain people and we don't with others. One of the things is a lot of times we're drawn to people who are like us. They share similar interests, so maybe it's a sport. And if two people play the same game, say soccer, you're going to be drawn together because you have that in common. Or some other hobby. Maybe it's going to the same school, being in the same class, living in the same neighborhood. There's so many different things that connect us. And so a lot of times, if somebody has that in common, we're drawn to them. And if somebody doesn't, we're not as drawn to them. So here's the thing, when you think about it, this friend of yours in school, Rachel, who you don't necessarily get along with, you share the most important thing in common, and that's Jesus. So I'd encourage you to do this. I would encourage you to focus on that in your friendship. Talk about where you guys go to church. Talk about your favorite Bible stories. Talk about Jesus. Talk about challenges you have of living for Him. And I think if you start to do that, it may feel weird at first, uncomfortable, but if you start to do that and you start to see you have this most important thing in common, I wouldn't be surprised if you started becoming good friends. But here's the other thing. It's even okay if you never become good friends. Again, we can't be friends with everybody. As long as you guys are not unkind to one another, as long as you're not adversarial, that's okay. You don't have to be best friends. And so if you try this and you guys are just acquaintances from this point forward, that's okay. But I would encourage you, try to connect with that person, try to become friends, because especially in a school environment, anytime we have the opportunity to be friends with another person who believes in Jesus Christ, that is so, so helpful. So I'd encourage you, give it your best effort, trust in God, see what He might do, and see He might grow a great friendship for you with this other girl at school. So here's a question back for you. What are some ways you can show love like Jesus with anyone that you know?